A looming strike.
Could not have come at a worse time.
Massive consequences for our economy.
This is not a very good news.
Tens of thousands of railroad workers ready to walk off the job.
That's what we're fighting for, is to quality of life.
Tonight, we're going in depth, showing you how this strike would impact your pocketbook.
The prices are going to go up.
$2 billion. That's how much the Association of American Railroads warns the U.S. economy will lose each day if an estimated 60,000 railroad workers walk off the job.
Tonight, railroad companies and unions have 24 hours to reach an agreement on a new labor deal to avert a costly strike.
Workers are pushing for better working conditions and more sick time. They accuse rail companies of penalizing them for taking time off for medical reasons.
And if you think this strike won't affect you, you're wrong. As Denver 7 CB Cotton found out, it will mean paying even more at the grocery store.
And that's right, absolutely. This could mean bare store shelves, a delay in the shipment of new cars, the cancellation of commuter routes, and higher inflation. There's still a chance for a potential strike to be averted, but if it's not, an economist tells me there are things we should all do now to prepare our wallets. Commuter trains transport us. Freight trains transport our goods. But come Friday, some of both services could come to a halt if unionized conductors and engineers don't reach an agreement with railroad companies on working conditions and time off.
This is not a very good news.
MSU Denver economics professor Kishore Kulkarni saying the stoppage of freight trains could have some of the most far-reaching impacts, disrupting the shipping of retail products like produce and meat. The shipment of manufacturing components could also be impacted. The railroads have already announced plans to stop shipping refrigerated items ahead of the strike deadline. Kulkarni says any new supply chain disruptions would undoubtedly increase inflation on consumers who've already been paying record high prices for essentials.
Within November and December, when all of us will start spending more, prices as it is are expected to go up.
According to a report released this month by the Association of American Railroads, a trade group who lobbies on behalf of rail companies, a potential strike could cost the U.S. economy more than $2 billion a day. As the potential strike looms, Kulkarni says the only way to prepare is to guard your wallet starting now.
I had to find ways to lower my consumption. I will cut down on my travel. I will cut down my vacations. I will cut down on my presence in the holiday season too, because it does look like we will be paying a little bit more than we usually do for all our presents in Christmas.
And as of right now, 9 unions have reached tentative agreements. Ongoing negotiations with 2 holdouts could lead to a strike just after 10 p.m. tomorrow, our time. Jessica?
Thank you, CB. And going further in depth tonight, Amtrak has preemptively suspended long-distance routes ahead of the strike. While Amtrak is not involved in the negotiations, a strike could impact its tracks. Routes affected include the California Zephyr, which comes through Denver's Union Station, and the Southwest Chief, which travels through the southeast corner of our state.
And we did some digging on the history of railroad strikes and found in the last 150 years, the Library of Congress lists at least 4 major events, all of which involved thousands of workers who called for better working conditions. So first, the Great Railroad Strike of 1877, which lasted for almost 2 months. Then in 1886, the Knights of Labor Union called for the Great Southwest Railroad Strike. The Pullman strike also took place less than a decade later. That was in 1894. And then in 1922, about 400,000 workers walked off for about 3 months in the railroad shop worker strike. There was also a strike in 1992. That one lasted just 2 days, and it came to an end when President George H.W. Bush signed into law banning the strike.